Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video doing the ECMWF 30-day forecast for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. So this is the regular month-end look ahead with the extended CFS for Europe. Of course, we will look at weeks 5 and 6 data as well, because why not? Charts are there, but traditionally this is a 30-day forecast, and I shall get on for that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video today was our 6 AM upload, a Christmas update coming up shortly, 10 to 14 dayer, and going to have slow watch, goodness gracious me, this evening, first slow watch of the evening. 5 videos today, really pushing it, but I'm off from tomorrow, having a few days away, so I thought we'd have an epic Tuesday before I head off for a few days. Right, so please like, share and subscribe on videos. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Thank you so much to ecmdev.int for supplying the charts as well. That's amazing, incredible. Thank you so much, EC, for doing that. Right, so we're going to begin with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly for Europe, taking us through the current week, the 5th through the 12th of December. So we see a lot of high pressure this week, blocking within the high latitudes around Greenland and Iceland, and extending back in towards northern parts of Europe as well. Below average pressure, low pressure running into southern parts of Europe, and the jet stream is down to south as well. And that means that most of Europe is under cold air from the north and from the northeast too. The 500 millibar height anomaly from the Arctic and North Pole view down looks like that, with extensive northern blocking around Greenland and back into the northern latitudes. Below average heights across northern and western parts of Europe, and we're pulling in cold winds from the northeast a little bit like that. So the temperature anomaly in the weekend is going to be colder than average. It's going to be a cold week this week through most of northern Europe and up here as well. So Scandinavia coming out colder than normal, as does UK, Ireland, France, Low Countries, Germany into Poland. Below average temperatures there. It gets a little bit less extreme the further east you go, actually. So the coldest temperatures are like the France, northern west parts of France, UK, Ireland, Denmark, and into southern parts of Norway and Sweden as well. And they're around 3 to 6 degrees below normal. Further eastwards around the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, we're around 1 to 2 degrees below average, something like that. However, it's not cold everywhere, so we come down into southern and east and southeast parts of Europe. It's milder than average, so much as Spain, Portugal, away from the far north, looking pretty mild. Most parts of the Med look quite mild away from Côte d'Azur. And into Italy as well, we're above average there, around 3 to 6 degrees above normal over the Adriatic. From the Balkans all the way to the Black Sea, again we see temperature anomalies around 3 to 6 degrees above average. Greece, Turkey also looking pretty mild as well in the week ahead. So sorry everyone. And the precipitation anomaly looks like this. So eastern parts of Europe are wetter than average. In the east and the southeast Europe, we have above average precipitation. Again, particularly around the Balkans, looks very wet, pretty very close to the shores of the Adriatic. Does extend northwards into the southwest of Russia as well, so those far eastern parts of Europe looking generally quite wet. Also Spain and Portugal looking very wet, significantly above average rainfall there. Go further northwards, so where it's coldest, it's also driest as well through the UK, through Ireland, through France, through the Low Countries, Germany, Denmark, many southern parts of Norway and Sweden, drier than average there. The far north of Scandinavia does look quite a lot wetter though, of course. And that will be snow, of course, and go that far north. Right, well, week 2 will be the 12th to the 19th of December. That's how it looks. No real changes, to be honest. Blocking area of high pressure continues to dominate weather within the high latitudes. Low pressure is in off the Atlantic into southern west parts of Europe. Again, the wind is likely to be coming in from that cold easterly or northeasterly direction through much of northern and Western Europe as well. The 500 millibar height anomaly once more showing strong blocking around Greenland, with below average heights across the north and west of Europe. Some higher pressure across the far south and southeast and east of Europe as well. Winds again coming in from a cold northeasterly direction there. So the temperature anomaly looks like that. Still colder than average through the north and west of Europe. So Ireland, UK, Scandinavia, and into the Low Countries, Germany, Poland, up into the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. We find that it is below average, and the coldest conditions at the core across southern parts of Norway, I think we're like 6 to 10 degrees below average. Most areas, though, in that far northern and western part of Europe, around 3 to 6 degrees above normal. Southern Europe continues to look relatively mild. So again, we've got above average temperatures through southern parts of France, in Spain, Portugal, most parts of the Med, and over into the eastern, southeastern parts of Europe, particularly around the Black Sea, for example, with above average temperatures through there. And the precipitation anomaly is wetter this week across many parts of Europe. So the driest conditions are through Norway, far northwest of Scotland, and particularly where we've got the blocking area of high pressure around the North Atlantic into Greenland and Iceland. Many areas wetter than average in the western side of Europe and in the eastern part of Europe as well. And of course, where we've got that cold weather, especially through like France and into the Low Countries, Germany, probably into the UK as well, where we've got that cold weather with this precipitation falling, there will be an increasing risk of snow with that. So we could see quite a bit of snow, I think, through that middle part of December in some places as the wetter, milder Atlantic air clashes with those cold temperatures. Further south, very wet through Spain and Portugal, though mostly dry through the central bowl of the Med. Plenty of wet weather from Corsica and Sardinia towards Italy. The Balkans, again, with above average rainfall that extends up towards Ukraine and further northwards. And into the east part of the Mediterranean, the Greek islands look a little bit on the drier side there, actually. Week 3 is going to be the 19th to the 26th of December. High pressure continues to be blocking around Greenland and Iceland, which you would think is still going to be bringing quite cold northeast winds into the northwest Europe. We have got a ridge here in the far east, southeastern part of Europe. That could bring up some milder air into that southeastern corner. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. Again, we've got a mid-Atlantic ridge, which seems to be extending up towards Greenland. Some sort of trough through here. And then a ridge across southern and also southeast parts. That's going to be a mild ridge in the south and the east, bringing up wind from the south. But in the north and west, I would suspect we're still bringing quite cold air from the north as we move towards Christmas. The temperature anomaly looks like that. So it's a weakening signal, but still hinting at being colder than normal for Scandinavia and much of northeast Europe. Still a little bit on the cold side for the UK and Ireland as well, potentially. They have this wave of nearer normal temperatures or no signal before we run into the milder conditions again across southern Europe, particularly through the Mediterranean and up towards the Black Sea as well. Precipitation-wise, it looks like that. So relatively dry where we've got that ridge in the far east and southeast of Europe, just here through southern Italy. Again, particularly focusing on Greece. Dry in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland, where we've got the blocking area of high pressure. Perhaps a little bit on the dry side through southern parts of Norway. That probably involve a Scandinavian high or something. And then wetter conditions again. From the Baltic Sea to the North Sea and into northern parts of France and the Low Countries, Germany. And once more, I wouldn't be ruling out the chance that there could be snow in with that, given the blocking that we've seen here, with that high pressure still focus on Greenland and Iceland. How interesting for the run up to Christmas. Week 4 is going to be the 26th of December to the 2nd of January. All gets a little bit patchier then. Got some ridging in the Atlantic. That's a bit of high pressure towards Scandinavia, some low pressure down here. The signals are weaker though. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So again, we see that there's like a ridge in the North Atlantic towards Greenland. Could there be a trough through here, keeping the cold weather going? That's putting a question mark. Certainly a ridge in the far east and southeast that's going to bring milder air into that southeastern corner of Europe once again. Temperature anomaly still looks rather cold across Scandinavia. As further out we go, the weaker signals getting, but still rather cold there for Scandinavia. Mild across the southern, southeastern parts of Europe. Otherwise, there's a lot of white, a lot of no signal going on as we are a long way out now. And precipitation-wise, so still probably a little bit on the drier side through northern parts of Europe. Looks rather wet in the far south of Europe. Otherwise, again, lots of white, lots of no signal. So that's your 30-day look ahead done. Let's just extend out to weeks 5 and 6 before we go. So week 5 mean sea level pressure anomaly from the 2nd to the 9th of January. Looks like that. If anything, it could turn colder again into the new year because high pressure seems to be focusing across Scandinavia and back into western Russia, which is going to pull the wind back into an easterly. You would have thought. So that could start moving colder air back in from the east. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. Again, plenty of high pressure blocking. Low pressure across southern Europe. And again, you'll think that winds are going to be coming in from the east with that. The temperature anomaly looks like that. If anything hints, it's weak still because it's 5 weeks later. But if anything does hint that it's going a bit colder again across much of northern Europe, relatively mild in the southeastern corner. And the precipitation anomaly looks like that. Rather dry across northern Europe, of course, where we've got that blocking area of high pressure wetter down through the Mediterranean. And then lastly, week 6 will be the 9th to the 16th of January. And then it goes very mysterious, so we'll just put in a question mark, I think, and we'll move on to the 500 millibar heights, which look like this. So high pressure, sorry everyone, high pressure in the North Atlantic towards Greenland, maybe more towards the Canadian side of Greenland. Some higher pressure still left towards Scandinavia. Come back and try to revert back to a little bit more of a westerly there for the middle part of January. What's the temperature anomaly doing? That seems it might start to get a little bit milder across western parts of Europe, especially out in the Atlantic. It is a weak signal though, and the precipitation anomaly, again, nothing really to work with. So by the time you get through the mid-January, week 6, it is all very, very mysterious. Right, well, we've got a cold December on our hands here, I think, for much of northern and western Europe, if this update is right. So there will be further areas of high pressure blocking around Greenland and Iceland, all the way up towards Christmas by the look of it. Maybe a little bit of moderation over the Christmas week, and then possibly we get the winds back into the east, where it's Scandinavian high into the new year. No, a lot to keep an eye on, a lot to keep us on our toes. Always milder across southern and southeastern and eastern parts of Europe. That is the way the weather balances itself out, the equilibrium that's always looking for. So if it's cold in the northwest of Europe, it will tend to be milder in the southeast, and vice versa. If it's cold in the southeast, it will tend to be milder in the northwest. Of course, that's been the pattern of the last many, many winters, but it's been cold in that southeastern corner of Europe. Snow in Athens, rain in London. It's been, you know, a British weather snow lover's worst nightmare for many, many winters. But it looks like this winter, but the early part of winter anyway, is doing things a little bit differently with the coldest weather in the north and west. Right, so that's it for your 30-day look ahead. Probably won't be able to get one done next week. I should be travelling home on Tuesday next week from my trip, so probably won't be able to get this feature done next week. It'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, I would have thought. For this one, that's all for now. We will be having the next installment of Christmas Countdown, along with a 10 to 14 day and Snow Watch later on. Epic Tuesday coming up. Please keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.